Hi, I'm Christine Vanderpool. I'm the VP of IT Strategy, Architecture, and Chief Information Security Officer for Florida Crystals and ASR Group.
Hi, I'm Brian Stone, Chief Revenue Officer for Conceal and based in Dallas, Texas. Well, Christine, thanks so much for jumping on this session with me. And we're excited to receive the award for CISO's Choice and really start to get the word out about web browser security and securing users in their daily lives as they're spending more and more of their time in the browser. But I'd love any thoughts or feedback that you all had as you were kind of kicking around, which companies you might want to award this recognition to, and just any thoughts around the technology or the space.
Yeah, it's always wonderful to be part of the board that does do the evaluation of the various companies out there, right? It's an honor and it's a privilege to be nominated to sit on that. CISO's Connect is just a fantastic organization, and it's CISOs who come together and support each other. We've all been friends for many, many years. Most people on the board have known each other more than 10 years. We were sort of that first generation of CISOs. So we love to investigate these organizations that are out there, these different vendors, because it gives us an opportunity to really help get the message out, get the word out. And because it's coming from us, we live it day to day. It's not coming from the vendors themselves, right? Of course, you guys are going to talk yourselves up because that's what you do. That's what you're supposed to do as a vendor, right? Is sell us on the idea. But in this case, since we're the ones evaluating and we're the ones who have the real in-depth knowledge, I think it goes so far when we do nominate, when we do select an organization, because that means that we're willing to put our name on it and green check mark it and say, yes, we think that this technology really is spectacular for whatever reason, right? And in your case, it was a real hidden gem for us to find Conceal. It was very concealed, right? No, but it was wonderful to learn more about who you were. And I have to applaud you even just on your name, because I do see a lot of vendors in the cyberspace pick the strangest names or names that don't make any sense. Your name aligns very well with your organization's mission and what you're out there to do, right? You're out there to conceal the regular user who's out there surfing things, right, from all the various attack vectors that can come at them at any given time. And from my perspective, one of the best things that I think people don't realize about a technology like Conceal, and Conceal specifically, is that it also just provides a huge ease of use for me and my team, right? When I joined Florida Crystals ASR Group, we had 26, I think, different surfing categories, right? And that's unmanageable, completely unmanageable. So, we can shrink it down, and now we have 3. But the problem is there's valid business reasons why somebody might need to get to a certain website, but we don't want the rest of the organization to go there. So what are you going to do? Are you going to create yet another surfing category, or are you going to use browser isolation to send them through there and be able to control it in that manner, right? And I think people normally think of browser isolation, they think of just the various attacks and keeping people from downloading malicious, attacks, malicious software, or even data, uploading data to maybe a site where you don't want company data going. But it's more than that. It's just this ease of business use that I think people forget about.
Yeah, no, the feedback from the community is so important for a young company like us. We feel like we're trying to really solve a problem that's unmet by protecting users in the browser. And like you said, users are trying, we all have to do security awareness training to try to be aware of the threat landscape. But those threats are emerging and evolving, and they're coming through social media. They're coming, threat actors are buying ads on well-known shopping websites and trying to deliver malware. And a lot of it is coming through the browser. So if we can be that other layer, and that feedback from the CISO community, from the actual practitioners who deploy, a layered tech stack for security controls, is super helpful on how we can add value into that layer, to that tech stack. And that partnership of, yes, we want to innovate as a young company, but we can't really get great feedback unless we work with folks in the field that are doing it every day. So for us, super important. And there are new websites, new domains that pop up. I heard some stat the other day, 9 new domains are registered every second. So roughly, I think it's around 350,000 an hour. SWG controllers, proxy servers just will have a hard time keeping up. I think, I heard another stat where it's like it takes 48 hours for sort of security control layers to figure out good or bad. And so browser isolation to allow, some of those are bad, some of those are legitimate, and users do need to go there. And being able to leverage browser isolation as a way to let that user go there when they need to, but have it contained. And if it does blow up and turn to be bad, we've got that contained and isolated. We think it's a great little fit into that layered defense in depth strategy.
Yeah, and it's funny, a while back, we were doing our quarterly phishing exercise, and part of what we did was we set up a new domain, a new URL, and if people clicked on it, they got rickrolled. I don't know if you know what rickrolled is, right?
Oh,
but
yeah.
Unfortunately, our own cyber tools blocked it eventually and so we didn't even get to rickroll the entire organization. But, with browser isolation, we could still get them to click, and then they would have actually gotten rickrolled, which would have been hilarious. But it's such a smart way to, again, allow, and I think especially coming out of the pandemic, right? The needs of everyday people in the organization did shift and change, and the expectations shifted and changed when we had to all of a sudden work from home, and our kids were doing school from home, and we had all these different things just attacking us from a personal standpoint every day. And by attack, I mean like so many things on our minds, on our plates. The school is emailing you, telling you, here's the homework. You've got to click on this link to do something. You might be like, just use my work computer, kid, because I'm going to be on this other call. I can take it from my phone, or, but I need to make sure you're doing it. And like, there's this expectation that life is very difficult for me. And I expect my company not to make it more difficult for me, that I have to have a whole and separate computer to go take care of things that the school is expecting me to take care of, right? And again, we want to be able to control where people are going, so we make sure that we keep our work environment safe and secure. But we do have to provide, as good stewards, as good employers. And honestly, you want to keep your workforce happy and productive. And if you make it easier for them to be productive and organize their personal life, they'll be more focused and less stressed and do a better job in their work life. And so again, this is another aspect of a tool, Conceal, that allows us as security professionals to secure the environment, but give our users some ease of use so that they can use their work device to quickly answer a school email or download a piece of homework for their child. And there should be nothing wrong with that, because we can do it in a secure fashion. So any organization that sort of puts up that barrier and says, no, from a security perspective, I cannot let you do that, that's an excuse, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that was actually an area that I'm always curious about. And when you think about the layers of filtering that you've got to do from those, whether it's email gateway, solutions, or web gateway solutions, where people have to do their job. They have to click on some things and open things, and you need to allow mail to come to the user. but you also are trying to filter out the noise and the malicious and potentially malicious. And I imagine that's a constant sort of tuning process of trying to get it right. And you'll probably hear pretty quickly from a user if it's too tight and you're, hey, I was expecting an email from a vendor or a partner or whoever, and didn't get it, or it got caught in spam, or it always does. Is that a reality for you?
It definitely is, especially as we start to layer, defense in depth is great, but we have two email security tools, right? So if one doesn't catch it, hopefully the other does, but unfortunately that also adds that layer of things not getting through and things not being available. And then you have to follow up and, oh, I never got that, and please send it again. So that's definitely something that as these tools get stricter and stricter, it does sort of slow business down in some cases, right? And it's okay to be cautious, but at what rate are you going to actually start to impact your revenue or your customer satisfaction or whatever, depending on the industry that you're in? And like I said earlier, too, from that management standpoint, that ease of use and making it easy for my team to manage, because what happens is if you start to put so many controls in place, people will just find a way around it anyways. Like that email that they couldn't get through. Okay, well, send it to my Gmail. I'll just go into my Gmail via my phone, and then I'll forward it to my corporate email. And then I've still just potentially sent myself something hazardous, right? Because, and every protection, right? That never happens. Every protection I just put in place, the users will figure out a way around it. So you might as well make it easier for them. And you may really, like I said, see the overall just management of these controls go better. So great examples here. We currently don't allow people to go to TikTok, right? But we are a consumer products company. We sell brands of sugar. We utilize TikTok to have influencers who do, the recipes and make cookies and cakes and stuff and using our products. And so obviously our marketing team has a valid need and use case to go to TikTok, but we don't obviously want everyone spending their day going to TikTok. But again, not wanting to create another layer in our web filter tool, right? I'm like, why not just let them go through it through browser isolation, right? And we can again control which people without having to do yet another, email security web security group, right? So these are all wonderful use cases, and that's what's so great about your technology is you allow that.
We're starting to allow security professionals to say yes to certain things. And not always be no.
No.
Don't do that.
Yes. That's actually my team's strategy, or our mission statement is that we're the Department of No, but KNOW, not NO. So we know how to do things, not no, but obviously sometimes we do have to be the Department of No, right? Like real no, but.
Yep. Well, I imagine if you feel like browser isolation is a potential solution for that particular use case you just mentioned, one of the things that we always thought about if we were going to get into that is the browser isolation is not new. It's been around for years, but we said, if we're going to kind of try to reinvent this and really make it more usable, what would we need to do differently? And so that sort of dynamic nature of going into isolation when we think you're in a risky environment, but when you don't need it because you're protected by other controls, or it's, you're going to a website that you need to go to every day to do your job, that we don't put it into isolation. We just stay out of that transaction and trying to make it sort of feel really nice for the user and still be performant and fast and all those things. And so, yeah, we'd love to continue to tune that again, and that's that feedback with practitioners and end users that's so helpful.
Yeah, and just one last point on that is that actually could potentially reduce your help desk costs too, because you will have less tickets saying, hey, I need to get to this website and it's blocked, right? So if it just automatically sends them through isolation, they can see if they really need to get to that site safely and securely. You've now opened up one less help desk ticket, and and sent that to my security engineer, and then that's one less thing he's annoyed about. So it's wonderful, because don't like help desk tickets. So I just wanted to point
Yep.
that out too, as an upside to this type of technology, for sure.
Well, I know we've got to wrap it up, but really appreciate your endorsement and with CISO Choice, and then certainly the collaboration and feedback. It's just been fantastic, and really enjoyed spending time with you today.
You too. It was great seeing you, talking with you.